Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. I'm Clarissa Booker, your holistic health coach and beauty expert. I know how stress can derail your well-being as an entrepreneur. I'll be sharing simple strategies to reduce stress, ditch stress eating, and replace other habits while energizing your day by incorporating more plants onto your plate. With small shifts that can boost your health, happiness, and productivity. Whether you're seeking guidance with weight loss, stress release, or just a moment to recharge, I invite you to join me. Let's optimize your wellness path. So be open to receive because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Let's go. Hey there, friend. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today we're going to talk a little bit about sugar and how it affects us, especially with it is a prime time for sugar, as it's the holidays with all the yummy food that's floating around. And you can give yourself some grace, right? But let's not get too off track. So let's talk a little bit about it, and specifically how it impacts our body and our stress levels and how it can drive us to even more unhealthy eating habits. All right. Just take a few steps in there. Have you ever found yourself reaching for cookies, chips after you feel stressed? Then this is for you. And I'm pretty sure we've all been there a time or two, right? So stress eating and sugar cravings are more than just a habit. It can wreak so much havoc on our body and our mind. So just eating too much sugar can lead to fatigue, mood swings, and even long-term health issues. Weight gain, of course, inflammation in our body, high blood sugar. The list can go on. Sugar, simple carbohydrates, right? Not all carbohydrates, but simple carbohydrates are not necessarily our friends. And then stress eating just creates a cycle that can leave us just feeling out of control. Okay. Because I know sometimes I do speak to people that are working on balancing their demanding business and dealing with their family. It's life. Okay. And next thing you know, turning to sugary snacks like candy bars or cookies or whatever your sweet tooth is. It could be an array of things, all those yummy little pastry products, right? And you might think it's going to give you the energy, help boost your energy, but you will notice those cravings will hit hardest also around that mid-afternoon time, right? Especially like say you had a stressful meeting, you're like, oh man, I need a relief, okay? And you might just feel overwhelmed, maybe have a long to-do list, right? You have those little lists laid out. We have like a gazillion things on it. Try to limit it to like 3, right? But those 3 sometimes can go double into 6. So just be mindful of that for one. And if there's too many things over there, you might feel overwhelmed, okay? And so at first, the sugar can make you feel better. And then those quick boosts throughout the day, but that's all it is a quick boost. Because within an hour, you might feel a sugar crash. I do know what that feels like, right? And it can happen and we will feel even more tired, irritable, and just feel like you can't focus. Have you ever been there? All right. And so this cycle can repeat almost every day if you're just in this pattern, right? You just have this behaviors going on and you're just used to this. And over time, it can most definitely result in gaining weight and just feeling even more sluggish. You just feel kind of like down and you're like, I don't feel like going to the gym, right? Because you're feeling so sluggish. And ideally, if you are working out, but you're still consuming these food products, it's not really going to benefit you now, is it? Okay. Your energy can feel all over the place and feeling constantly frustrated, just giving into those cravings. And then when they do decide to make these small changes by swapping out some sugary snacks for more healthier options like fruit or nuts or herbal teas, I try my best to consume herbal teas as well, just because I would drink coffee, like a lot of it. So I had to work on that within myself. All right. And I know I'm not the only one on that. So when you feel a craving coming on, just taking a moment to step back and do a quick breathing exercise to help reduce your stress, which you can do anywhere, right? And then they will notice within a few weeks that they're feeling more consistent with their energy levels, they're having fewer cravings, and they're feeling more in control of their habits, okay? Because when we are consuming sugary foods or drinks, so if you drink soda pop, your blood sugar levels will spike rapidly. And this is because the sugar is a simple carbohydrate. Let's distinguish those apart, right? A simple carbohydrate, and your body can break those down like super quickly, which is why you feel an immediate boost of energy. Like, I come back to life, right? After consuming sugar. But however, it's going to rapidly drop. Your blood sugar levels are going to go back down, giving you that sugar crash. Okay. You're going to feel tired, sluggish, and just irritable. And, you might want even more sugar. You know how that goes. You might find yourself going back to that bag. Look, you see that family bag of chips. You'd be like, I'm only going to have that one handful. And you look and I'll be like, oh, it's empty. No judgment at all. And so it will leave you being caught in a loop of sugar highs and lows, ultimately draining your energy throughout the day. See, and just how I was saying, I did this with coffee, right? Like my little midday thing, I would just have a cup of coffee. So now I swap it. I make sure I get my water in because sometimes you are dehydrated. Okay. And swapping out for tea, uncaffeinated tea. Let's try that. Our cortisol, commonly known as our stress hormone, is going to release in response to stress. So consuming large amounts of sugar is going to trigger the body to release even more cortisol. All right. So when your blood sugar drops after that spike, your body's going to receive it as stress. Okay. So to stabilize the blood sugar, the body's going to signal your adrenal glands to release cortisol, which is going to help maintain that energy for mobilizing your glucose. So over time, when you're consistently eating too much sugar, it's going to have your stress response more reactive. Okay. And then what's that going to do? Elevate cortisol. It's not only going to affect our stress, but our fat storage. So look at your belly, right? We love our little bellies, okay? But it's particularly around the abdominal area. Also that inflammation, disrupting our sleep patterns, okay? And so even like I was just saying so even if you are working out, which is excellent, you have to be aware of all of these other contributing factors, our stress levels, the food we're consuming. So if you are working out, but then you're going home and you're not eating nutrient-dense foods, you're eating more sugary foods, your little belly's like, oh, don't forget about me. Give me some little belly love, okay? And so those high excess sugar levels will create that feedback loop. And then not even talking about the emotional eating cycle that can creep up. So if you're eating all these sugary foods and then you stop and then, how are you going to feel? Sometimes you might not feel the most positive place, right? So we do want to approach that with compassion as well. So it's going to increase those cravings, leading to overconsumption, those mood swings, those irritability, like I talked about a second ago, insulin resistance, and the decreased inability to cope with stress because you're going to be irritable, right? And so by interrupting our sugar cycle and embracing more balanced eating habits will help us stabilize those blood sugar levels, that reduce the cortisol, and ideally just experience a greater sense of calm, which is what we want. We feel better. The people around us feel better, right? Having that sustained energy and a sense of control over our well-being. This is excellent because we don't want to feel always stressed out, then having that turn to chronic stress, then maybe even burnout, then affecting our heart. Everything is connected. You can't just focus on one thing, which is why we do things holistically. Okay. We don't want just that temporary relief that eating those sugary foods can give us. Go running to those comfort foods. And it is an ideal time to consume comfort foods, right? And so instead of just thinking about the foods that you're eating, think about your family and your friends and enjoying the experience, right? Center it more around the experience of everything. And one thing you can do is to not keep any sugary snacks in the house. So it's out of sight, out of mind, that kind of situation. Okay. And not skipping your meals because whenever you are too hungry, a lot of times you just grab whatever's closest to you and it might be those snacks, those pastries, etc., all those kind of things that you would like to eat. So that also contributes going back to the meal prepping. You don't need to be cooking every single day, sis. That's a lot. Okay. So just make sure you have food prepared and ready to go. That decreases the reaction to you just wanting to grab whatever's there that you see, and throwing out the all or nothing mindset. You don't have to give everything out all together, right? All completely, but focusing on balance. But if you're just starting out and you know that that's going to be a trigger for you, refrain. Okay. So knowing that balance is for you. This is why another reason it's good to work with a coach so that it could help you figure out what that is for you. Okay. But having all or nothing mindset can send you down a spiral. But you also don't want to be like, you know what? I'm just going to have this snack all the time. Balance. Instead of thinking as sugary sweets and snacks as a reward, start seeing healthy options and healthy choices as a way to nurture your body and your mind. Okay. So when you eat mindfully, you take back control and you feel more empowered. Okay. Because it's within you. So seeing food as a reward also is something that gets taught a lot of times. So for example, you did a great job on your test. Let's have some cake. Or, man, you don't look so good today. Are you okay? And let's talk about it over some ice cream. You see where I'm going with this? And then it just becomes something that's ingrained in you. But you have the power to transform your life and break that cycle. Okay. You can change those habits. You have that power within you. Now is the moment. In this moment, you decide and you own this moment with your all and you claim it. And you have to start there and believing in yourself that it will be accomplished and that you can have that within yourself. All right. And at the end of the day, asking yourself, what triggers my sugar craving or stress eating? How did I feel today? What can I prepare ahead of time to avoid those slip ups? And if I slipped up, how did that make me feel afterwards? What's going through my mind? What are my emotions? How do I feel? Just asking yourself these questions without judgment, just putting on your curiosity hat and getting in there, okay? Writing down when you feel the urge to grab something sugary and what's happening around you when that's happening, right? Be like, oh, I got upset about X, Y, and Z. Have some fruit on hand. Create a to-go list. Try something different you haven't had before. Did you do a breathing exercises whenever you felt stressed and you wanted to reach for that chips, cookies, etc., right? I have the response to do my deep breathing. Journal, stretch. All right. Well, I hope this blessed you today and in love. Until next time.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you for listening to my mom's podcast. Leave a 5-star review.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and are feeling empowered in your journey towards a thriving well-being. Also, share this episode to someone you know this will bless, as that's how we spread the message. And don't forget just to take 30 seconds to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts by scrolling down the show page and clicking write a review because it also helps us grow. I appreciate you taking the time to show us support.